Cologne.com. Welcome to another live session with Mr. Cologne 76. Tonight I'm going to do a quick live and I am going to attempt to select 5 addictive fragrances. Awesome fragrances that even me as a fragrance lover, when I put them on, I find myself sniffing my wrists and I find myself just really enjoying them. I wouldn't go as far as calling them an addiction in the truest sense, but they are fragrances that I find myself sniffing my wrist. So my criteria for selecting these fragrances are they have to be a fragrance that I find myself sniffing my wrist. So let's get into it. Let's find five fragrances that I truly consider addictive. This one comes from the house of Nazamoto. This is Baraonda. But this fragrance, to me, the very last time I wore this, I got this raspberry note, and I just really enjoy this fragrance. I think part of my love for this fragrance is the fact that I like whiskey, I enjoy bourbon, and when you smell the nozzle of Baraonda, if you don't smell a whiskey barrel, I don't know what's wrong with you. So the first of my 5 addictive favorite fragrances comes from the house of Nazamoto. The next fragrance is a real stranger in the sense that you don't see it mentioned a whole lot on Instagram or in the fragrance community. This is a hidden gem. I'm so fortunate to have this bottle. This is called Or, O-R-E, from the house of Slumber House. This is a discontinued gem. It is a resinous chocolate fragrance that was gifted to me by Maison Parfum Sect. I am gonna treasure this forever. It's one of my favorite chocolate fragrances. The next one comes from the house of Rania J. This is the best amber in my perfume collection. Talk about a spicy amber that's just resinous. When I wear this thing, I just absolutely enjoy it. I love getting the whiffs that I would get on my skin as the day progresses, and I love sniffing where I sprayed this. So next fragrance should not come as a surprise. Those of you that follow me closely know how strongly I feel about this fragrance right here. LDDM is absolutely going to make my list of 5 addictive fragrances. This has been my favorite niche fragrance. L'air du désert Marocain from the house of Andy Tower. I have loved this fragrance since I got into niche perfume. It is my favorite niche perfume. It has been my favorite niche perfume for probably 5+ years. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love this fragrance. One that comes to mind, and again, this is subject to change. I'm just pulling the fragrances that I love, and then we're gonna narrow it down to 5 fragrances. This comes from the house of Montal. This is Intense Café. This is a beautifully done fragrance. Love wearing it. I find myself, when I put it on, I find myself sneaking sniffs, and one of those fragrances that need very little introduction. This is Intense Café from the house of Montal. This time from the house of Serge Lutens, my favorite perfume house. This is Santal Majascule. This is one of the fragrances I consider my happy juice. I first bought this fragrance when I visited Paris. A whiff of this fragrance still takes me back to that season. This is before the fire at the Notre Dame, and Santal Majascule is my happy juice. This is truly an addictive fragrance. I can already tell you that this is going to be top 5 in the list. I've got another fragrance here that makes that list. This is none other Psychédélique from the house of Jovoy. Amazing patchouli. This is a fragrance that brings me a tremendous amount of joy. Okay, tremendous amount of joy. This is Psychédélique. This has cistus, rose, geranium, amber, patchouli, labdanum, vanilla, and musk. An amazing patchouli fragrance. In my opinion, the best patchouli fragrance in my collection. Psychédélique from the house of Jovoy. It happened. I knew if I looked long enough that this was going to happen. So, from the house of Xerjoff, their Casa Marati line, This is none other than Lyra. This has reigned as my favorite vanilla since my introduction to this fragrance many years ago. Beautiful lemon meringue pie. Man, I love wearing Lyra. Lyra will get you noticed. It will linger all day like a cashmere blanket or a cashmere sweater. It leaves me speechless whenever I wear it. Another heavy hitter, and perhaps a fragrance that I consider to be one of the best date night fragrance from the house of Frederic Malle. This is Dries Van Noten. All right, so for number 10, I'm gonna have to give it up to this tiny bottle right here. Now, this is a tiny bottle, but it packs a powerful punch. This is a pure perfume. This is Hermès Eau de Merveilles pure perfume. I was so lucky to find this while I was in London last year. I had given up on finding this, and I jokingly asked the lady at, we were at Harrods, and I was like, hey, any chance you have the perfume version of Eau de Merveilles? And she said, yeah, we've got about six pieces. And I was like, no freaking way. She's going to come back and she's going to tell me they don't have it. She came back with this box. I snatched this thing so fast. Man, this is beautiful. So most of you guys will know that fragrance by this bottle. Okay? Most of you will know that fragrance by this bottle right here. All right? This is Eau de Merveilles. This is the EDT version. Okay? This is the EDT version. But this right here is the pure perfume. So whenever I wear this, I usually layer them together and I put a few dabs of this on, and it rocks all day. And this is one of those fragrances that I for damn sure sniff on my arm when I'm wearing it. I've got 10 fragrances picked out, and I'm going to recap really quickly from, and this is in no particular order, y'all, from the house of Jovoy. All right, and I apologize, these are backwards. The front camera, it puts the words backwards. But this is Psychédélique. From the house of Jovoy, Psychédélique. And you will notice that most of these juice are a little bit darker in color. All right. So here is from the house of Serge Lutens, My Happy Juice. This is Santal Majascule. Santal Majascule. From the house of Nazamato, this is Baraonda. From the house of Slumber House, this is Or. Beautiful chocolate fragrance. If you ever get a chance to pick that up, if you find a bottle, because it's now discontinued, get your hands on that. This year, my all-star from Rania J. This is Amber Loup, the best amber fragrance in my collection right now. So, next up, we got from the house of Andy Tower, needs no introduction. This is L'air de Dessert Marocain, intimately known in the fragrance community as LDDM, my favorite niche perfume. From the house of Montal, this is Intense Café, another fragrance I feel doesn't need an introduction. The best vanilla fragrance in my collection, Lyra. From the house of Xerjoff Casamarati collection, this is Lyra. Next, what I consider the best date night fragrance in my collection for the fall, this is Dries Van Noten from the house of Frederic Malle. Last but not least, perfume version of Eau de Merveilles from the house of Hermès. This is beautiful. I'm not going to open it because I can kind of get an idea. So if you're familiar with this fragrance, okay, this fragrance right here is a sublime version of the Eau de Merveilles. I pulled this bottle to kind of let people know what this fragrance is, because most people are familiar with this fragrance right here, and I often layer them together.